Shoot.
I'm not ready yet. Hang on. Not a sponsored ad. Whenever you're ready.
At the Bear Flag Moto Garage. Here we are working on the DX. The last video that we had going, we said that we were going to do a bunch of cool stuff to the DX. We did the 11.8 inch rotors up front with the 08 and up Brembo bagger brake setup. So obviously rotors, calipers, pads, master cylinder. The brakes actually brake now. It is quite amazing. This bike needed it so bad. The other brakes, they just needed a rebuild kit. That's all. The calipers needed a rebuild. The master cylinder needed a rebuild. And honestly, they would have been fine, but I wanted to do this anyways. This is a great upgrade for these early model dynos. These bagger calipers, they bolt right up to your lowers. So you do have to get the 11.8s, no problem. Can go get them from Harley. And then the rest of this just literally bolts right onto the bike. So do it. It's a no-brainer if you want to get big stopping power up front on this bike. So also on the back, did the 14-inch Legends and did the slider on the top mount just to give the bike some protection. And nothing really sticks out too much further than that top mount, but the bars do a little bit. We're still going to do different bars. Centauro Customs front engine guard will bolt right up to where these forward controls were at right here and sit up against the frame real nice, and that sits out wider than the bars. So bars are still going to get changed, but that's going to be a good upgrade too. So what we're doing now is we got the outer primary pulled off. We're going to do a couple of cool stuff inside the primary. Moving the bike back to mid controls. So I got OEM mid controls from a 2003 Dyna Lowrider. So super stoked about that. So got everything I need to do that. I also got a brand new Screaming Eagle clutch. I'm not going to put the new clutch in yet, since we're going to be kind of experimenting with this. I'm sure we're going to abuse this clutch a little bit. And this clutch still feels really good, even though it might be original. But we will destroy this one before we put a new one in. I think that's the best idea. And then I also got an upgraded automatic chain tensioner instead of this solid mount one. These early model bikes, you just set this chain tension to where it's at and you leave it. There is no adjusting. Well, you can adjust it, but you got to do this or take that looking window off and try and mess with it, which is tough. So doing the automatic chain tensioner, which will just help with this a lot. This isn't bad, but you know, when you're going to be thrashing on it, it's a good thing to have that in there. We're doing all the seals, all the gaskets, everything you can want. We got the race, the quad seal, everything for this main shaft. I mean, there's no reason to get into this and skimp out on replacing any kind of seals. They're cheap enough that it's cheap insurance. Get the damn seals, replace them. You'll save yourself a bunch of headache. The Dyna is getting the work done that we wanted to get done on it, which is super exciting. 2 years in the making. On this bike, I'm running a Thunder header, which as you can see, we already took the exhaust off. Now, how this axle is positioned right now is the axle will need to be removed from this side. This is the solid side. So it has to come out on this side. Well, with the Thunder header, the Thunder header comes back and completely covers the solid side of this axle. So to take the damn axle out and change a rear tire or do whatever you want to do, you got to pull the exhaust off every time. So we're going to just boop, flip the axle.
Eventually it's going to be 49 mil.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's goals. Goals is to a 49 mil on this would be absolutely awesome, and that we'll work towards that goal for sure. But a couple beers, some wrenching, some knuckle busting, some cuss words, and hopefully tomorrow we'll be ripping around the Dyna with mid controls and all new seals and stuff in the primary. So stay tuned for more action, but that's what we're doing with the DX now. And it's about 100 degrees out in Las Vegas, and it's 10 o'clock at night, so we need to stay hydrated. you doing?
How you doing?
Primary. So, pulled everything off, cleaned everything up, got our new seals in. As you can see, we got our shift shaft all the way through there with the new tube, new O-rings. We also changed the shift shaft seal here. We actually didn't mess around with this race or the seal behind that or the quad seal. All that looked really good. This shift shaft seal was definitely seeping though. So I'm really glad that we got that and replaced it. We're going to put a chain kit on this, and I'm thinking that might be a Merry Christmas present to myself. So, and then we'll do a sealed bearing conversion here, and that will get rid of this whole race completely. This race right here, it'll get rid of that because that sealed bearing will then go right around the main shaft. So, just give it a little extra support, and it eliminates that failure point. So, but it's okay for right now. It's all right. I got all the stuff, but it looked really good. And the other thing was we didn't have a tool that we felt comfortable enough to pull that race off with. So, we're good. We're going to cruise right along.